All right, we are here at Pusch Ridge here in Tucson, Arizona, actually Oro Valley. I'm here with my two guys from Varsity Breakdown, Lupe and also Daniel. Feel free to say hi to everybody.
What's going on?
Okay. And tonight we have Pusch Ridge versus Catalina Foothills. And it's an early start, 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. So this is a good game. There's not too many around town, I would assume, that are going to be doing it on Thursday. And we're going to be doing everything we got to do here and stuff like that. Yeah, they got me introducing and stuff like that. So here we go.
But coming into tonight's matchup, you got Catalina sitting at 1-2, and Pusch Ridge is undefeated at 3-0. But before we kind of dive into more details about their matchup, let's go into their impact players for tonight's game. As I know you have a little bit of an announcement.
So my impact player was going to be, let's see here. Actually, this is, apologize. Yeah. So my impact player was going to be Sammy Delgado. And actually, Sammy Delgado has actually been injured. And the other one, which was going to be Pusch Ridge, was actually going to be Bubba Mustaine. So two great players here coming in on the offensive side. Bubba Mustaine, number 2 for Pusch Ridge.
And here come the Lions.
So coming into tonight's matchup, what are you expecting now that Sammy Delgado is going to be out for Catalina Foothills? I know he's a big part of their offense.
Huge part. And actually, I believe he's the running back number 1 stat leader. And actually, so from what I've heard, is they're going to be using Maximilian. Is that
Magnus Johansson.
And so from what I'm seeing here is going to be a big adjustment for Catalina Foothills, which is going to have to go from their running game and maybe lean a little bit more towards their passing game, which is going to be Jet Stott, who's going to be actually a transfer from Phoenix coming in. So he's new. So he's kind of getting his feet wet with the program. So he wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the season, but we'll see what he does.
Well, before we get things kicking off, I know they're going to be doing the national anthem real quick, and after this coin toss, so let's take a little break, and we'll be ready for kickoff.
All right.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey, you! We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey, you! We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey, you! We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
All right, we're back.
And we are back, and so to start off the game, Pusch Ridge is going to be receiving the ball as Catalina Foothills deferred to the second half.
In the kick, number 33 for the Foothills Falcons, Luke Dixon.
So we are off for tonight's matchup. Oh, as it's going to take a bounce off of number 12, Dominic Painter.
Dominic Painter back to receive for Pusch Ridge.
But I think the ball did deflect off of him, so the ball may be right at the 2-yard line. As the flag is waved off.
Ball was touched before it went out of bounds.
So to start off, giving them some difficult, grounds ahead of them.
But you had spoken on your impact player, Bubba Mustaine. Last week against Yuma, he threw for 228 yards and 3 touchdowns. And so far on the year has 476 yards with 5 touchdowns on the season. So he is definitely a vital part of this Pusch Ridge Lions offense.
And that's not easy to do on with Yuma Catholic.
No, it was actually the Yuma Criminals is the team.
Okay. I apologize.
So Mustaine's going to drop back, and he's going to connect with number 11, Will Joyce, who is going to have enough for a Lions first down as he gets to about the 20-yard line.
And Bubba's showing early that his arm really is the truth.
Joyce on the 15-yard completion.
And Chris, with this being your neck of the woods, what are you expecting early from this game?
Well, I think what's going to happen is Catalina Foothills has to dominate the defense side of this, actually come step up forward. I mean, that's got to be the thing that's setting, especially with Sammy Delgado out, you're going to have a lot coming from the defense side of the Catalina Foothills, because Pusch Ridge, they will strike quick at both dimensions, whether it's passing or running. They're both stout at both sides of that.
Well, you saw Catalina Foothills on this last play get a stop by Isaiah Reyes. And so hopefully that's more things to come from Catalina Foothills, as Mustang is going to connect with another receiver, and it looks like it's number 3, Nate Campa. And that's going to be another first down for Pusch Ridge. So you can see how great they are at this pass game and how much trouble it's going to give Catalina Foothills tonight.
Most definitely.
You know, Bubba Mustang was actually one of the leading passing quarterbacks last year, and he threw a lot to his brother, which was actually Tyler Mustang, who's actually now off. I believe he went off to college. Don't know if he went to play or not.
Well,
But
Mustang's going to have the carry, and he's going to go to the right and pick up a good chunk of yards, but we do have a flag on the play, so let's see what the call is.
Holding Pusch Ridge.
And it'll be holding on Pusch Ridge, so that will set them 10 yards back, and it will be a 1st and 20 on the 20-yard line. But it seems for Pusch Ridge that they have a good set of receivers for Bubba this year. I know you were saying he threw for a lot of yards, over 2,000 yards in the air, but is there anybody on Catalina Foothills as Mustang's going to drop back and find another open receiver?
You know, on the Catalina Foothills side of offense, they've been so heavy dependent on Sammy Delgado that when it comes to the passing game, we haven't seen much of that. And also with Jet Scott coming in, he hasn't really gotten his rhythm going yet. I mean, at first they started off with a different quarterback. They transferred over to him, made him the guy for the team. So it'll be interesting to see where they open up.
Mustang's going to run, keep it himself, and get a big run up the middle, which he crosses the 50-yard line. So not only can he throw it in the air, he does a great read option for this Lions offense.
Is this the Jet Scott that was formerly of the Florence Gophers?
Yes. Yes, actually.
I knew the name sounded familiar.
He actually went over to, I thought, Desert
View.
Desert View, yeah.
Yep.
No, not Desert View. Desert View's down here.
Desert Mountain?
It might have been Desert Mountain or Desert Ridge.
So Mustang's going to hand it off to number 4, Jacob Newborn, who's going to pick up about 4 on the play, as the Lions are kind of driving early on here in this game.
Like I was saying, it was going to be such an important thing for the Catalina Foothills to establish that defensive game. If not, Pusch Ridge is got multiple dimensions where, like, you've seen the running, we've seen the passing, and we've seen the scrambling from the quarterback. So
now with the successes of Pusch Ridge and you know how well they've been doing, especially their deep runs in the playoffs, is this another Southern Arizona team you could see possibly make that jump up to 4A?
I believe they were at 4A once before, moved it back, obviously, because of the size of the enrollment. But, I mean, this is one of those programs that could probably strive at the 4A and be competitive. I kind of like where they're fitted right now. But, I mean, because obviously one class can actually put such an impact on small programs.
So it's going to be a 3rd and short for the Lions, as Mustang's going to hang on to the ball and pick up a Lions first down, as now they're inside the 25-yard line.
Mustang with the keeper, brought down by a flock of Falcons, but the result to the play.
And to show just how good the Lions have been this year, I mean, they went up to NAU and had a comeback victory against Sholo, winning 24-21, and then beating Benjamin Franklin and Yuma pretty decisively, 34-7 and 38-14, respectively. And Newborn's going to keep the ball, or get the handoff, and it's going to be a good tackle.
Mustang hands off to
But it looks like number 23. What's going to be a gain of 3 yards for the Lions, so a 2nd and 7 on the 22.
But you were talking about the Lions' schedule. After they beat Sholo, they had a really good victory against Benjamin Franklin, beating them 34-7. And so far, they're averaging 32 points a game this year.
And there's a deflected pass by number 36, Sean Brown.
Campa knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Sean Brown.
And you guys bring up a great point, which is actually, if you look at the 3A division ranking right now, they're actually ranked 3rd for 3A. So they're right behind Mojave and Valley Christian, which, I mean, these are just some great problems. And the big thing about this game that and maybe like people don't know is that this could be a huge thing for Catalina Foothills if they win, because there's such a limit on that. Go ahead.
And Mustang's going to try to hit number 3, Nate Campa, across the middle, but the ball is going to just hit off of his fingertips and bring up a 4th down for the Lions. So we'll see what the call will be, as it looks like they may be sending out the field goal unit. But you were saying about the Catalina Foothills winning this, if they were able to win this game.
Yeah, if they can pull this out, this would be really a big win for them to try and get into that 4A playoff, because it doesn't look like it looks like maybe 2 teams might be able to make it from the 4A Keno region.
So the kick is going to be up for number 33, Tyler Nolan, and it's going to be no good. So a big stop for Catalina Foothills, as we got a little bit of fireworks going off a little prematurely, but now Catalina Foothills offense is going to be able to come on the field. You were speaking of Sammy Delgado not being able to play tonight, so a lot of the weight is going to have to go to Magnus Johansson as far as the run game, and then the transfer Jet Scott, you know, who we have been very familiar with out of the Florence area, like Lupe was saying. So I'm interested to see how they come out as they're in that pistol formation.
Jet Scott hands off to Magnus
Now,
Johnson.
one thing that I saw just recently, too, was that Catalina Foothills, with Sammy Delgado, they did really well against actually Yuma Catholic, which was a great game. So they've been playing some difficult teams this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, they even came up a little bit short against Buena, losing 33-28. But I'm sorry, it's Johansson is, I believe, the kid's name. Magnus is the running back. So apologies on that one. So it's going to be another handoff and another great stop by the Lions, as the tackle is going to be made by Sam Avery. And so now you have a 3rd and 8. And I'm wondering if they'll let Jet Scott air it out here. I mean, he's only attempted, you know, I know their stats weren't updated for this week, but he's only attempted 46 passes so far this year.
I would have liked to have seen maybe an attempt before 3rd.
So with the 3rd and 8, Jet Scott's going to drop back and throw the ball, and he's going to hit Magnus Johnson, and it looks like he's going to have a big gain and pick up the 1st down, as we have a Falcons player down on the field.
Johnson Ukian and Tyler Schof in on the tackle. There is an injured Falcon on the field.
So while we have the trainers tend to this injury, we'll be back after this short break.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey, you. we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son, we're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing, your priority.
And just to talk real quick on the regions before we get back here to play, we were just looking at here and saying how Catalina Foothills is currently ranked 93rd in state right now at this, and they're actually 1 and 2 overall.
Ball's placed on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10, Catalina Foothills.
And so Catalina being in that 4A Keno region, such a tough region to be in, especially with CDO and Mike Mountain there. As Scott's going to be in the shotgun formation, and he's going to hand the ball off, and it seems like the Lions are all over this Catalina Foothills run game.
I mean, I think the offensive line's got to do a little bit better job to let these plays develop a little bit. I mean, they're attacking, they're getting in the backfield and breaking up before anything really gets to develop.
So that was a loss of 3 on the play. It brings up a 2nd and 13 with 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. And Scott is going to be in the shotgun formation with Johnson to his left, and he's going to find a receiver across the middle, and that's going to be Henry Nentel. And it's going to be a gain of about 8 yards on the play, so we'll see where the spot is. Looks to be a 3rd and 2. But since the run game has not been kind of working right now, would you kind of stick to this pass offense if you were Catalina?
I think that's what's going to actually help open up that run game. Is that play action has actually been working for him. Do the quick slants, do the quick hooks, you know, and hitches and stuff like that.
And there is a big hit by the Lions defender. Looks like number 13, Luke Garcia, but I think it's enough for a Falcons first down. As the Falcons got a good spot on that one. I thought he might have been a little bit short, but the referees thought otherwise.
Result of the play is a first down, Falcons.
And so the Falcons will be on the 50-yard line. As Johnson's going to get the handoff yet again. And maybe get a yard on the play, but looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage. So a tough front four for the Lions here. And what has impressed you, Loopy, with both teams so far?
So far, it's got to be the toughness of both teams' defense to see that Pusch Ridge was able to get into their red zone but wasn't able to capitalize by even scoring a field goal. That shows that the Foothills defense is actually doing its job.
So Scott's going to pass out to Nentel, who's going to get a big gain on the play and be tackled by a couple of line defenders. And that's going to be good enough for a Falcons first down. So
I believe that's what Chris was talking about when he was talking about those quick slants and those quick play action throws. And that's exactly what they're doing right now and taking advantage of. And Pusch Ridge just isn't able to get ahead of them on it.
And I think it's tough to change up your game plan, you know, especially a couple of days before when you're trying to watch film on Samuel Delgado, who is pretty much carries the load for this Falcons offense. And for them to come out throwing, I'm sure they were not expecting that coming into this game. As Johnson's going to get the ball. Oh, I'm sorry, that would be number 23, Jackson Golseth. And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So a 2nd and 10 on the Lions 37.
But not after he's taken down by number 51, Tyler Shaw.
9 yards to go.
So one of the things I haven't seen yet from the Falcons is maybe a read option and a quarterback keeper here by Jet Scott. As Johnson is going to get the handoff again and maybe pick up 2 on the play. So another 3rd down for the Falcons. But I think since you see the Lions kind of going to that run defense where they're reading the running back first, maybe it might be a good idea for the Falcons to possibly have a quarterback read option where he keeps the ball and runs the other way. We've seen it do good for Bubba Mustaine in the Lions offense.
I believe so, but it's all a matter of Catalina Foothills' offensive line, whether or not they're going to be able to protect their quarterback and allow him to make that play.
And Jet Scott is going to look for Jack Eggington, but the ball sails over, and now you have a big 4th and 8. And we'll see what the Falcons decide to do here. Well, we talk about how important field position is, in other games that we have been to. Is this a situation where you get the offense or the defense to possibly think you're going to go for it on offense, but then do one of those little quarterback Pusch punts to pin them back as close as you can to the end zone?
It could be. I'm not really familiar with these Tucson teams, and Chris didn't really give us much of a scouting report on these teams to give us a little bit of a surprise.
Well, that's going to be an incomplete pass for the Falcons, intended for number 15, Michael Garcia. So the Lions will take over at their own 37-yard line. So good stops between both defenses so far here in the first quarter, as we are just under 3 minutes here, and we got a deadlock.
And was this the type of game that you were expecting coming in?
I expected a good hard fight. I know Catalina Foothills is a team that definitely wants to prove themselves here, especially in the 4A Keno region. And then we know what Pusch Ridge is. We're pretty familiar with them as they play a lot of our 3A Central teams in Pinal County. So I expected a good, hard-fought match, and it's going to be interesting to see which team can get in the end zone first.
I'm looking forward to that too. I kind of anticipated Pusch Ridge to come out a little bit firing more with this game being their homecoming.
And what a homecoming has been so far. We got a packed house here tonight, as Mustane's going to be in the shotgun formation, and he's going to hand off to number 4, Jacob Newborn, who's going to pick up about 1 on the play.
And as you said, it's a packed house. I'm going to try to see if I can get a quick shot of that student section that is filling up very quickly here in Pusch Ridge.
But one thing I've seen over a couple years coming to the Pusch Ridge games is they have such a huge fan base for their home teams, their home games and stuff like that. They come out solid, and this is also a very big game between these two teams normally. So as you can see on the other side, it's pretty packed there too.
And so Mustang's going to drop back, and the ball's going to be deflected by a Falcons defender and be an incomplete pass. And sometimes those tip passes can be deadly for an offense.
Yeah.
As when it's hanging in the air that long, it can easily be intercepted.
Luckily, it just went over Campa's head and not in the hands of a defender.
So we have a 3rd and 9 for the Lions, as Mustang's going to be in that shotgun formation with 2 wide receivers to his left, and he's going to drop back and get a rush up the middle, as he's going to find number 11, Will Joyce, and we'll see where the spot is. It looks like it's enough for a Lions first down, and that is confirmed. So a great 3rd down play by the Lions, and Mustang, as that pressure was coming up on the edges, and he was able to find Joyce across the middle.
Able to keep his eyes upfield and find the receiver. Very good play by the Pusch Ridge Lions.
We got a 1:40 remaining in the first quarter.
So Mustang's going to drop back again, and he's got a little bit of a rush off the edge, and he's going to be brought down by number 36, Sean Brown, who's going to pick up the sack. And that's something that is going to be good when you think about Catalina Foothills' defense. as they racked up 20 sacks last year. So they're a team that loves to get after the quarterback and put the pressure on. So with a 2nd and 19, we have 2 wide receivers to the left, as it looks like Mustang's going to go under center. You have Joyce in motion.
Good
as
stuff.
Newborn is going to get the handoff, but possibly lose one on the play.
And as the clock ticks down, just under a minute, what are you expecting to see in this second quarter here, Chris?
I think once again it becomes a battle of the trenches right now. You really got to see a lot from both the offensive and defensive lines of both these teams. I mean, the play's got to develop, or you obviously got to be stopping the play in the background like we're seeing right now with Cat Foot.
So 3 wide receivers to the left, as Mustang is going to keep the ball and maybe pick up 3 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down for the Lions. But I think they're going to let that clock wind down, and that's going to do it for the first quarter here at Pusch Ridge High School, as we are deadlocked 0-0, and we'll be back for the start of the second quarter.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey, you. We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shop.
And we are back for the start of the second quarter after a defensive battle through the first 12 minutes of this game. And we have a 4th and 16 for the Pusch Ridge Lions, as they have sent out the punt unit. And Catalina Foothills will have a chance to get some great field position. And it's going to get a Falcons bounce, as the ball will be roll out of bounds at the 26-yard line. But you bring up the matchup between these two schools, and so this is the 6th matchup between, the 5th matchup between both schools, with Pusch Ridge having a 3-game win streak, most notably winning last year 34-9, where Bubba Mustang had a great game, throwing for 223 yards and 2 touchdowns, and rushed for 128 yards and 1 touchdown.
And Chris, historically, how have these two teams been in the time that you and SoAZ have been doing this coverage for Tucson?
I mean, these two teams have battled it off. It's almost like it's a battle for the mountain, because one's actually just on the other side of the Catalina Mountains. So you have this big tension between these two teams, where you always see great matchups. And like he's just mentioned, typically Pusch Ridge has been the leader on the meetings. So it's been a very exciting matchup between these two teams.
So Newborn, Johnson wasn't able to pick up anything on that first rush, but he's going to get another attempt, and he's going to pick up about 3 on the play. So you're starting to see that little run game kind of get little yards at a time.
But do you feel that's because the passing game has actually been okay for him?
It's tough to say. I've seen pretty much the running backs take every snap, whereas if you look at the Lions, who run a read option and allow the quarterback to keep it, it's a little bit more to deal with than just handing it off to the quarterback every time, as now you have an empty backfield with Jet Scott, who's going to drop back and pass, and it looked like the ball might have gotten deflected at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be an incomplete pass as the intended receiver was Michael Garcia, and it's going to bring up a quick 3-and-out for the Falcons.
John Sanukian in on the
And
coverage.
what can you say about these two head coaches? Head coach Daniel Saenz for the Catalina Foothills Falcons is in his 3rd season and is currently 13-10, above 3 games above 500. And when you look at the other side, Coach Kent Middleton is in his 5th season and actually 35-12, a very good winning program here in the Catalina Foothills area.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Coach Saenz comes over from actually being an understudy for Coach Scott McKee over at Saguaro. And he was actually been here, actually played high school football here, and it's actually a product of pretty much the east side. So he moves over to Catalina Foothills, actually coming behind Jeff Skern, as well as Darius Kelly, who's now actually up at Scottsdale Saguaro. So a lot of interesting history when it comes to the football coaches here that have gone through some of these programs.
And the punt is going to be down at the Lions' 45-yard line with 10:19 left here in the second quarter. And it's pretty interesting to see Bubba Mustang not only passes and runs the ball, but he's also the punt returner for the Lions as well. And, you know, you don't see that very often for a quarterback to be returning kicks for their team.
I believe he's a defensive back as well.
Yes. He has actually, I think he got a pick last week against
Right.
Yuma as well.
He's a jack of all trades, man. I mean, his brother, like I was mentioning, Tyler Mustang, was a great football player here as well. I mean, these guys have been.
And that ball nearly intercepted.
And the intended receiver looks like number 3, Nate Gampa. But what a great defensive play by the Falcons defender.
Bring up 2nd down.
And so far, Catalina Foothills is showing to me that they are a program that has definitely improved upon their season they had last year. What about Pusch Ridge? Is this a team that you suspect can make it into the playoffs, or is that same winning caliber team?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have the quarterback here, Bubba Mustang, who was a big part of that offense as he completes a pass to number 12, Dominic Painter. And it's going to be good enough for a Lions first down. But they went 11-2 last year and lost to Eastmark in the 3A semifinals, 45-10. So I know they had to have been a heavy favorite coming into this year, even though they lost a key player during their scrimmage game, and that was their running back. But you can see that it's next man up for this team as Mustang's going to scramble and just toss the ball out of bounds.
Well, it's actually interesting that you're kind of talking about last year and this year. I was actually just talking to one of the parents, and they had a child on the team both this year and last year. And it's interesting, like she had mentioned, she goes, last year they had a lot of strong key players, where this year it seems to just be a good, solid team.
Absolutely.
So a little different kind of chemistry going on for Pusch Ridge, and some people kind of like, you know, one side or the other, but it's kind of good to have that solid team mentality.
And they had to put that teamwork to use on that first game, playing Sholo, as they were down a majority of the game, as Newborn is going to get the handoff and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage as he's tackled by a couple of Falcons defenders.
Brought down on the play by Giovanni Arenas.
But you saw that, that game against Sholo, trailing pretty much the whole game. I believe they were down 3 touchdowns going into the fourth quarter and battled back. And Sholo is another 3A team that is going to be a contender for that 3A title.
Solid programs. I mean, and that's the nice thing about Pusch Ridge. You can't count them out till the end of the game.
So Mustang's going to have 3 receivers to his left as he rolls to his left, and is going to find, almost connecting with Dominic Painter, as that's going to be broken up by number 9, Ray Vasquez.
And that's the second big hit by number 9 from Catalina Foothills. Very good defensive play by Mr. Vasquez.
So now you have another 4th down, and the Lions will send out the punt unit. But coming up for Catalina Foothills, after this one, they're going to be traveling down to Tucson Magnet. How do you see that one playing out, as Tucson is another team that has shown their improvements.
Absolutely. I mean, with the new coach over there, Zach, coming in from South Point, becoming the new head coach and building up a new coaching staff. And Tucson High has actually seen so many coaching changes in the past couple of years. Some of those athletes that are seniors right now have seen 4 different head coaches. But there's a program right now that they've bought into, the parents have bought into, the community's bought into, and they're striving, and rightfully so. I mean, Tucson's going to be a very difficult battle for them to play next weekend.
And you definitely got to take in the health of running back Sammy Delgado to see if he's going to be able to play in that one as well.
Big game.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Falcons on the 15-yard line with 9:09 left here in the second, as Jet Scott is going to continue to be in that shotgun formation and have his 2 tight ends motion to the left. And it's going to be another run by number 10, Magnus Johnson, as he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. So
Johansson.
See, I thought I was mispronouncing it, as the announcers here in the booth are saying Johnson, but I thought it was Johansson as well. Excuse me if I'm making that a mistake.
Somebody's right.
Whenever you ride home and you listen to this broadcast again, just make sure to put it in the comments how to pronounce your name correctly, so that way when we come and see you again, we don't mess it up.
Oh, and run up the middle, but the run is going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Charles Palmer of the Lions. So a loss of 2 yards. So a 3rd and 13 for the Falcons. And we've seen this type of game down in Pueblo a few weeks ago between Vista Grande and Pueblo High School, as it was just a defensive battle, and you're getting that early on here tonight.
100%. And Catalina Foothills is definitely coming in looking to ruin Pusch Ridge's homecoming night.
So Scott is going to find the receiver, number 1, Andrew Islas, but it's not going to be good enough for a yard, and that's going to send out the punt unit again with just under 7:30 left in this first half.
And one thing that I feel that you have to credit for Pusch Ridge is their defensive ability to wrap up and make the tackle themselves. A lot of these are solo tackles. Not a lot of help, but they don't really need it.
So it looks like we may have a delay of game. Oh, we have a false start on the Falcons, so that's going to push them 5 yards back. It's going to give Pusch Ridge a little bit more
5-yard penalty.
field position here.
Back to kick for the Falcons.
Now the punter has to
Bubba must stay to receive.
be in the end zone, so we'll see what he can do out of his own end zone. And it's going to take a Falcons bounce and be down just across the 50-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lions with 6:46.
Takes over. 1st and 10.
So coming into this game, the Lions have averaged 32 points a game, while Catalina Foothills has only averaged 22.7. So you want to see if Catalina Foothills can definitely get some offense going, because we've seen Pusch Ridge is a quick strike team, and they can put some points on you in a hurry, and their defense has been solid, only giving up 13.7 points a game.
Well, I think that's why it was such a big, blow to Catalina Foothills to not have Sammy Delgado in.
So Mustang's going to complete a pass to Newborn, who's going to pick up enough for a Lions first down. Looks like about 15 yards on the play. And sometimes those are the plays that you need, but we have another Falcons player down, and we'll see. he's already going to be helped up off the field. So good signs there. As we have a timeout, looks like a referee timeout for the injured player. So with 6:36 left in the quarter, it's a 1st and 10 on the 33 for the Lions. And we'll see if we can get some points on the board on this drive. As Mustaine is going to hand the ball off to Newborn.
Mustaine hands off to Jacob Newborn.
And he's going to pick up about 5 on the play.
5-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 5, Lions.
And Chris, the player that Pusch Ridge lost, was that Blake Reed, who was going to be the featured back for the Lions?
You know, the one, and this happened earlier before the season. I believe so.
Flag on the play.
And that's such an unfortunate thing to happen during a scrimmage against, and I believe it was Tankerverde that they were scrimmaging against, and they lost that key component. So, like, interesting that you brought that up. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that one of their strong points for the season actually isn't even here. Now, I don't know if he'll be returning towards the playoffs or not, which that could be a big bonus for them as well.
Absolutely. And so you're going to get a false start on the play. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10 for the Lions as Mustaine is going to go and passes. The pass is deflected but caught by Newborn. What great awareness on the play. And he's going to pick up about 7, maybe 8 on the play. What a great reaction. Absolutely.
And you mentioned 7 or 8. That's probably the 7th or 8th tipped pass of this game so far. And with just a little over 5 minutes to go in this first half, it's still 0-0.
Yeah, this was going to be a good game, and I think that's one of the reasons why we circled it earlier in the year, that this rivalry, I don't think we knew it was going to be a homecoming.
Yeah.
But, like, the rivalry, we knew that this was going to be a strong match. And not to mention the one that we got tomorrow night as well.
Absolutely. And Mustaine's going to pick up a 1st down on the quarterback keeper, so it's going to keep the drive alive for the Lions, as now they're getting into red zone territory, and maybe we might get our first touchdown of the game before the end of the half.
Well, they definitely have the time on the clock to do it. It's all the matter of how they plan to attack and whether this Foothills defense is going to stop them.
So it's going to be an option as Mustaine's going to pitch the ball to the running back, but it looks like he might have stepped out on the play as Newborn is going to pick up what looks like about 9, and that could have been our first touchdown of the game. It's going to be 7 on the gain, so a 2nd and 3 on the 20-yard line.
2nd and 3, Lions.
So we got a man in motion for the Lions, and it's going to be number 3, Nate Campa, who's going to lose about 2 on the play. So those jet sweeps, sometimes they work, sometimes the defenses are expecting them, and the Falcons got the better of the Lions on that one.
But I think it's almost like you got to do certain plays that don't work, so certain plays do work. So it's just kind of interesting how that works all together.
So a 3rd and 6 for the Lions as Painter is going to come in motion, and Mustaine's going to have a quarterback keeper up the middle, and he will have enough for a Lions 1st down, as now they are inside the goal line.
The result of the run is a Lions 1st down.
And we're going to get a timeout by the Falcons.
That's Catalina Foothills' first timeout of the
So we'll take a pause for the cause and be back for the remainder of this second quarter as the score is 0-0.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey, you. We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low price is your priority.
All right, we are back with 3:47 here in the second, and it's a 1st and goal for the Lions as number 4, Newborn, is going to go in motion. Mustang's going to drop back and find a receiver across the middle to number 11, Will Joyce, for a Pusch Ridge touchdown. And we are no longer 0-0 anymore. What a great read across the middle for Bubba Mustang. He has such great awareness in that pocket. And finally, we have broken the deadlock. What are your thoughts with 3:43 left in the second?
I mean, I would like to see how they respond right now. How is Catfoot going to come back? They got to do something, and I think they got to mix it up a little bit.
I was really surprised at the way Joyce just ran it in and just tossed the ball to the referee like he'd have done that many times before.
So the field goal is going to be good, and now the score is 7-0. Pusch Ridge Lions. And you said you want to see something a little bit different from Catfoot. They're probably going to want to go into maybe a 2-minute drill, would you say?
Yeah,
like, where they're kind of just airing the ball down the field and seeing what happens.
Maybe speed it up a little bit. Speed it up, get some passes going. Like,
if you're a Pusch Ridge alum, any
what I would say is some high, quick slants. Like I'm saying, like those quick, high percentage picks. The catches, get a couple yards down. Come to the down, get back to the line, go, boom, boom. Get that rhythm going. Like, we need to go in at least tied at the half. That's our main focus right now.
So we're going to have number 14, Nentel, and number 20, Cash Cornell, back for the Falcons. As we'll see how far Tyler Nolan can kick this ball downfield. So Nentel is going to get the return, and he's going to make a move and be pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And that's where the Falcons will start things off.
Henry Nantil returning the kick, knocked out of bounds by Luke Garcia and Cristiana Borboa. "21-yard kick return, 1st and 10, Falcons."
So Jed Scott is going to come out in a pistol formation with Johansson in the backfield and 2 receivers to the left. And Scott's going to drop back and sling it across the middle and find an open receiver. And it might be 1 yard short of the first down. As it looked like Tyler Drescher on the reception.
See, now I would like to see it a little bit quicker tempo. Not necessarily like that 2-minute drill quick tempo, but just a little quicker tempo. Get to the line and try to see if you can get Pusch Ridge off balance a little bit. And it looks like, obviously, like that passing game is what's kind of working for him right now.
So Johansson's going to get the carry and pick up a Falcons first down.
Johnson brought down by Bubba Mustang.
As the the Falcons will have the ball across the 35-yard line.
First and 10,
And
Falcons.
D, what is your opinion on players like Bubba who play on both sides of the ball? Do you find that as a liability or more of a strength for him in the eyes of college coaches?
I mean, it being in the 3A division, you do see it a lot more depending on how much depth, as Scott is going to find Nentel for the reception, and it's going to be a big gain for the Falcons. But you know what? I do see it happening a lot more, especially in the smaller schools. And I'm okay with it. You know, it's definitely a big risk having your main player play on both sides of the ball. But we see teams like Coolidge, Sabino with Cam Hackworth, who sometimes plays on both sides of the ball. And I think if you bring such a great presence to not only your offense but your defense as well, then I'm sure the coaches will love to have somebody like Bubba playing on both sides of the ball. So Scott's going to drop back and try to find the open receiver downfield. And it's going to be an incomplete pass, but we have a flag on the play, which looks like it might be in the area of pass interference.
I think they might have got tangled up, but I don't know if it was intentional kind of thing.
I did see a little bit of feet getting tangled up there.
Pass interference. Push
But we will see what the call is. So it is affirmed that it is a pass interference, and it will be a 15-yard play for the Falcons. Excuse me, a 15-yard penalty.
You know, on our past game, I actually brought up something where I said, and I don't know if either one of us has done any kind of research, where if the down is further than the 15 yards.
Yeah,
Yes,
you were
you
actually
were.
correct. When I looked into that, after you mentioned that into the game, you were 100% correct. That is how the rules are for pass interference in high school football in the AIA.
So Jet Scott is going to hand the ball off to Johansson, who's going to pick up about 3 on the play, as now we are under 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. And now Catalina is kind of getting things going here.
And thanks for looking that up. I mean, that it's always nice to kind of know that we're saying the right thing, you know. And I wasn't 100%, so thank you, and I appreciate you kind of looking that up and finding out the answer on that.
No, and like you said, you had that rule down verbatim about exactly 15 yards and the spot of the foul and all that. So yeah, great memory,
So
Chris Kidney.
second and 6. Scott's going to drop back, and he had Nentel open right by the end zone, but the ball is going to be just out of reach.
Tyler Drescher in on the coverage.
And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Falcons with 1:37 left. And those are the ones that you want if you're Catalina Foothills. You know, you want to kind of answer the call when it comes to the Lions' first score and be able to take some points into the half, especially when you're getting the ball at the start of the third quarter.
Oh, you're absolutely. I mean, you can't. Those are one of those possessions. It's like, hey, man, you got to. If you touch that ball, catch it. You know, your Pop Warner coach going out to you, telling you, hey, if you touch it, you need to catch that ball.
And so we're going to have a offsides on the Lions. So instead of a 3rd and 6 for the Falcons, it's going to be a 3rd and 1. But let's see what the call will be, as Johansson has started getting that run game going. But you know that the Lions are going to bring some pressure, especially on a 3rd and short. And that makes me wonder, when would you see the call of a quarterback keeper from Jet Scott?
You know, I know Scott doesn't tend to run that much. So, I mean, on one hand, that might be a perfect time to do it, because, like, he's not somebody, and he's a big guy, I believe he's 6'3", something like that, 6'2", 6'3". So it's a perfect time to do that. And you know what? While we're doing that, let's actually look and talk about the South region. And this is a big region, the strongest region for 3A football and actually in all of Arizona. And here you have Pusch Ridge leading the pack right now at 45th in the state with their rankings and 3-0. Now, once again, there's no sleepers in here. Morency's been doing great. Sabino, as we've seen them, they've done really well. Thatcher had a rough kind of start going on, but we know Thatcher is Thatcher.
And for me, Safford has been a big surprise this year, a big improvement, as they were beating one of our teams in the Florence Gophers, and, you know, unfortunately ended up dropping that game, but a great a great team right there, and it's going to be a great region to keep your eye on. So on the 3rd and short, Scott's going to be in the shotgun formation, and he's going to hand off to Johansson, and we'll see if he has enough for a Falcons first down.
Off to Magnus Johnson, met at the line of scrimmage. Tyler Schoaf and Charles
And it looks
Palmer
like he
right
may,
there.
we'll see where the spot is, as the clock is still running, but we have a 4th and short, so a great stop by the Lions, and it looks like the Falcons are going to stay on the field to go for this. But is this something where you might want to see Jet Scott under center and maybe do a little quarterback sneak up the middle to pick up that 1 yard as Johansson goes in motion, and Scott's going to drop back. Excuse me, that's number 23, Jackson Golseth, and it's going to be enough for a Falcons first down. So a risky call, but it turned out to pay off for the Falcons.
But I think you bring up a big point. Like, even if, like, with such a big presence that he is, but then again, they haven't had him under center at all. So maybe it's just not something they practice a lot of, or what case. But, like, honestly, in that case, I agree with you. I mean, I would have probably gone over, even though they were successful in their play. But I think it's just a higher percentage of possibly just running it up.
Well, the clock is continuing to run as we are under 35 seconds. So a lot of time wasted there as Scott's going to heave it into the end zone and look for Nentel, but he's going to overshoot him. It looked like the pass was deflected there, but the ball still carried pretty well. So it'll be 2nd and 10 with 30 seconds, and the Falcons on the 22-yard line.
A lot of hands up in this game.
Hey, and that's what the coaches always teach, your linemen is if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up and try to swat the ball down.
And one thing I see is, excuse me, one thing I see, D, is that you're looking for Jet to use those feet that we were so accustomed to seeing him use in a Florence Gophers uniform. And
pass intended for Mason Perez Brewer.
Possibly we can see that in the second half of this game if they're not able to score right here.
And he's just going to miss Mason Perez Brewer across the middle in the end zone there. And Catalina will take a timeout with 26 seconds. But one of the things I was kind of seeing is that they used up a lot of clock trying to get that play off and might have burned up anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds there, even though they had 2 timeouts and now 1 remaining here in the quarter.
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times about, clock management and stuff like that. And sometimes it makes sense to us, and maybe it makes completely different, sense to the coach and what they're doing. I know when we were talking about, I think it was Post and Butte, and I was like, nah, to call the timeout and stuff like that. And sure enough, that coach knew exactly what was going on. So maybe, maybe we get a score right here. We're completely confused.
So we got a big 3rd down coming up for the Falcons, and 26 seconds left here in the second as Scott is going to be in an empty backfield and is going to drop back, and almost an interception by number 1, Tyler Drescher. So now you have a big 4th down decision to make. And if you're the Falcons, are you sending out the field goal unit, or are you going to try to maybe punch it into the end zone?
What's interesting is we haven't really seen much great kicking this year. And maybe this is a different team, obviously. Maybe they have something there. And, I mean, my whole thing is obviously as a coach, I'm going to go in with something on the board. So whether it's 6, 7, or 3, doesn't matter. Get me on the board.
So we got a timeout by Catalina, and that's going to be their last of the half with 21 seconds left. And it's going to be a big decision here on 4th down.
I mean, me personally, I kick it. I go for the field goal, get 3, walk off the field, and say, because let's be honest. Let's say we make a play, and we get the 10 yards. We don't have any timeouts. There's 20-some seconds left. You might walk away with nothing. I'd rather just, play the game of risk and take the kick.
And another thing you got to think about, does Catalina Foothills have a good enough kicker at that? We saw Post and Butte going up against Micah Mountain, who did not even kick extra points, and it proved costly for them later on in the game. So that's another big question you got to think of is how well is your kicker and how much confidence do you have in him to kick a field goal like that?
Didn't we see the same thing in Vista Grande, too? They didn't kick either.
And we also saw the kicker here miss a very important field goal in the first quarter.
So the Falcons will come out on 4th down with 3 receivers to the left, and Scott is going to drop back, and he's going to heave it to the end zone.
And that ball was deflected again.
And that was intended for Jack Eggington, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Lions. And I talk about, how many points per game they have given up this year.
Does Stahl throw kind of with a sidearm?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
And that does play a factor whenever it comes to trying to get it over the line, the defensive lineman, and why a lot of his passes might be getting deflected.
I was like, I kept like, is it? There's something weird about it, and that's what it is.
So with 16 seconds and 2 timeouts left for the Lions, we'll see how aggressive they're going to be here in the final seconds of the second quarter. As Mustaine is going to drop back and keep the ball as he's going to rush up the middle.
Mustaine on the keeper, knocked out of bounds by Tanner
And they'll pick up
Montijo.
about 5 on the play with 10 seconds left. But as we come here near the end of the first half, you have a very special guest for us again. I know we spoke with them down in Coolidge.
Yeah.
And so I'm very interested to see what Coach Wally from Hastings College has to say about these 2 programs and which players are catching his eye. So Mustang's going to drop back.
Mustang's pass intended for,
and it's going to be an incomplete pass, and the clock will stop with 6 seconds.
Yeah, so Coach Wally's kind of told me, and I bet he's going to tell me here, obviously, when we get together, that he's been kind of roaming around southern Arizona and just talking to, trying to check out some of the schools, some of the talent and everything that southern Arizona has to offer and provide, because Hastings College, as we had mentioned before, it has a huge population of Arizona.
So Mustaine is going to roll to his right and sling the ball downfield just out of the reach of number 9, Elliott Lovett. And that is going to do it for the first half here at Pusch Ridge High School with the score Pusch Ridge 7, Catalina Foothills 0. And we'll be back for the start of the second half and sitting down with Coach Wally from Hastings College.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son, we're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing your priority.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son, we're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low price is your priority.
All right, I'm here with my man, obviously, Mr. Wally. We've been doing this a couple times.
Yeah.
And one of the things I know is that you've been roaming like you always do in southern Arizona. And go ahead and give us a little what you've been doing down here.
Yeah, I've been in Tucson all week. Was at Cholla, and I was at Catalina Magnet, which I don't like even say. It's Catalina. I mean, do that. Both those high schools, that's the first time I've been on that campus since 1979.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I played baseball at Cholla at 79, well, actually 80 for Catalina. It was an away game. So, you know, but then also Amphi as well. I've been at Floyd Wells. Been at CDO this morning. Got to visit with Coach Peace a little bit. So it's kind of fun. Most of those times when I'm on the road like that this week and also next week, it's more as a Hastings College rep. Whereas, but like say today when I was at CDO, yeah, I ducked in and saw Coach Peace.
Right.
But then what it does gives me the opportunity to do is, you know that I don't just recruit football, I recruit everything. So it does give me a chance to get in contact with principals, with career counselors, with athletic directors,
right.
And a coach here and there that may be there. So that's always an advantage to not just stick into a game or a situation like a practice.
Now, how important does that become actually with you being planted here into like Arizona for Hastings College? I mean, you had mentioned obviously on our last conversation, I brought it up earlier, is that we like Arizona is the third
largest student population right now on campus. We got 60 plus kids, and that's just from in the last 3 years. It's huge because most of the time your colleges are going to have like an admissions guy or gal or an alumni, and they go and they show up at a career fair, and that's it.
Right.
Well, no, that ain't it for Hastings College because I saw two kids that they didn't go to my table. I left my table and I flagged them down. I said, "Look, you got to come talk to me." Because sometimes there's people that just pass the eye test. It's like, no, you're 6'4", 240. We need to have a conversation. Who are you? So that's that advantage that I have. But the other thing too is the schools really. And like, this is my first time at Pusch Ridge. What a beautiful
backdrop.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I thought Sabino was gorgeous. This is gorgeous. And I was out at Cholla. That's the first time, like I said, that I had been out west that I could actually see it, because when you're a kid and you're on a bus, you get out, you go to the ball diamond, you go back. You don't see the campus. You don't see where it's at. Cholla is beautiful. And it's a Sean Elliott gym. Oh, come on, man. I mean, my bro and I, when Elliott was a Wildcat, and then he went to the pros. But the thing that amazes me down here in Tucson is I hope the parents and I hope the kids realize that you have an amazing geographical backdrop for where you live.
Oh,
when I was recruiting up in Nebraska, there's a cornfield, there's another cornfield, and did I mention, Chris, there's a cornfield?
Right.
There's nothing like this, and I do the thing that, I'll comment on the game here too. This is one of the better games I've seen, tackling.
Right.
Period. End of story. I mean, that's why you haven't seen plays break, because both coaching staffs here, they're teaching how to tackle open field. This has been wonderful to watch. But the energy here at Pusch Ridge, I know it's homecoming, but I don't know, I've gone to some homecomings, and I don't know, they roll out an inflatable car and then they're done. There is a vibe here. There is an excitement here. And I really like it. This is someplace I want to get into.
So let me ask you, do you think it might have some kind of impact because it's a Thursday night? They were actually they didn't expect it, their homecoming to be on a Friday night, but lo and behold, it comes on a Thursday night, and maybe you get some other people that might not have been coming or from maybe, a different game. But
yeah, maybe, I think. But, it's also tough if you're like, and there's actually a halfway decent crowd from Foothills here too. It's tough on a Thursday because these kids got to get them to go to school tomorrow.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry. If I was a coach, I'd hate this. If I was a player, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is fun, but I got Econ 101 at 7 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, not. But it was when you and I visited, and you gave me the heads up that this was a Thursday game, because next night I got to head home. I've been away from my wife for a week, so you got to go. You got to go home and
got to get back.
Yeah, you got to go home. And plus, I need laundry done.
Right.
So I'm ready to go. But I am truly impressed. And then like you said, across the street is CDO. Tucson, in my opinion, right now. I live in Mesa, but the schools that I love Tucson because there is still such an energy down here, especially for their athletics and their programs. And in my opinion, people don't, when I say people, I'm talking people like myself, recruiters. They don't come down there and see it in the flesh, and I think they're really missing out a lot. There's so much I pull, Chris, when I'm down on the sidelines and I can see what's going on. Like I mentioned, I'm going to tell you right now, Catalina Foothills has got the best pair of safeties I've seen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm telling you, 2 and 9. Those guys, you go back and look at your plays. 9 had, Mustang is Mustang, but 9 had hit, those guys covered up.
Now, did you mean Catalina Foothills or Pusch Ridge?
Yes, Catalina Foothills. Okay. That's it.
Because you mentioned Bubba Mustang. And
at a quarterback, I'm waiting for this guy to pick him clean. And number two is a little salty guy.
Nice.
And both those kids are seniors. Yeah, and I the fun thing too about coming early like we did, it was a 6 o'clock start. I was able to actually visit with both head coaches before the game, and I don't always usually get to do that. And it was nice because I got some feedback on some players. Catalina Foothills and I, we go back. We've had some guys. We've got a couple kids on campus right now. But Pusch Ridge, it was nice to talk to Coach Kent and get an idea of just who he's got.
It was Palo Verde Christian is what Pusch Ridge was called before. Do you remember that now?
No, because, dude, you got to understand, I would come back once a year in the past 40 years. Pusch Ridge, like I said, I'm like, where did they get Pusch Ridge from? Then as I'm driving, I see a Pusch Ridge road. I'm going, oh, okay, maybe they built it on that road. But that's also like today for me to be able, or in the last 2 days, to go to Floyd Wells Amphi and then Choya and Catalina High School. Those were all schools that were big and bold back in my day, 40 years ago.
Right.
Whereas now what I see, it's that northwest ridge of Tucson, Oro Valley, Marana, whatever you want to call it, and then Vail.
Right. I tell people sometimes it's almost like as if you put a circle.
It's a donut.
Around it. Right. And that's what you get typically. But in the inner city schools, like you're mentioning, Amphi, stuff like that, you can find gems in there.
Oh, listen, and I don't know if I'm really going to mention any names, to be honest with you.
Yeah, don't share. Not that I don't want you to share, but listen, I know you don't want to share because the other schools, you don't want them to get your people.
And I would say this, though, Chris, for you and your team. This is awesome. Like if I'm at home and I'm not on the road, to be able to tune in because your tracker's going, I can see scores. You guys are great with stats. And I personally, I like that because I'm not a fan. I need to know what the information is. And you guys do a great job for that. And I'm hoping that the rest of the Midwest remains stupid and doesn't pick up with that, hey, if we log into these crazy 3 dudes that are down in southern Arizona, we can see all the talent we want. We don't have to leave our living room.
I will tell you this. I got to give praises, obviously, to Daniel. He is on top of the stats. And every time we come in here, he's got the spreadsheets going. I'm like, how, why? And
you got to love a spreadsheet.
Oh, he's like – He's a Wikipedia over here.
Yeah.
It's got everything. Like there you go.
Dude, that's so small with my eyes. I couldn't tell you.
That's what I was telling him.
Chinese, and
that's what I was telling him. It's like I can't see. I got the bifocals going on and everything.
But I tell you, Chris, I saw 3 kids at Amphi that I would sign today.
Right.
Yesterday, I saw at Catalina High School. I saw 3 juniors and 1 senior that we're going to look at. At Catalina High, they're 2A. I don't care how many A's you have. 2 of our dominant players right now from Bisbee.
Right, 2A. Which actually we
E.J.
discovered.
Hernandez is a freak of nature. And why, I'm telling you, when you're 6'1", 300 pounds and you can do what he does, it transferred to college. But then to be able to talk to these kids at Catalina and at Amphi were the scouts don't really go a whole lot anymore. To me, that's what I like about my job, also working for everything with Hastings College, is I'll go where most people are not even going to even think of going. And next thing you know, there's a diamond in the rough.
You know what? I was actually just watching a Hastings College game, and one of the guys from across the road, Kaminga, was getting.
Dude, he's been. Okay, so Kaminga was always he still is my favorite, and that's why. I mean, dude, there's 3 more kids at CDO. There's 3 more Dorados that I want, and I want badly. And Coach Peace knows that. And Coach McKee is at.
Yes.
And Coach McKee his father was my coach at Sabino my senior year, and I had Ollie Mayfield the first 2. So
his father was
it's
my
always
principal.
weird, you know, whenever McKee speaks, it sounds like his old man. I mean, it's like he's imitating his dad, and it scares the heck out of me. I'm like, dude, you sound like your pop. But yeah, Kaminga literally told me on his way. He goes, Coach, I'm going to get on that field as a freshman. I said, look, buddy, saying it's one thing, but I go, you got to commit to yourself that you will do anything and everything that they ask you to do. They ask for anybody who wants to try to return kicks and punts. Who's first? That kid. He's averaging like 20 yards a punt return. And I mean, I just about fell out of my seat. I'm like, oh my God, because I didn't know if he made the travel team against Peru State. He does. We end up winning the first 2 games on the road in overtime, trailing by more than 14 in both games. Now, we got beat by Morningside pretty bad last week, but it wasn't really our defense. We were still having some trouble at quarterback, but I think we found one, our little freshman from the local kid from Hastings, St. Cecilia. This kid's the bomb, 6'4". This kid can throw. So I'm looking forward to Jamestown. But the other thing I want to give a quick is, I don't know if you've been following me, but Gabe Escalera. He is a junior golfer from Walden Grove. This kid on Wednesday, he won his third tournament in a row. There's been 3 tournaments this year. The kid has won all 3. And we're talking top Division II and GPAC talent. It's never been done. Most kids, if they're golfers, will try to win maybe 3. If they win 3 in their 4 years, oh my gosh, you know, you're in the Hall of Fame. And can he win the 4th next week? Dude, he's an awesome kid.
Let's do this, because I mean, I know that we're kind of dwindling down on half, even though it's a little long for obviously the homecoming stuff like that. How does one follow you, contact you, whatnot? Like, what's your Twitter? What's your,
really?
Get it out here. Come on, Coach.
Wait, what's my Twitter?
I
know what my Twitter is. No, I got it. It's on my business card. They got smart and they put it on there, because kids are always asking me, hey, Coach, what's your Twitter? I'm like, I don't know. I go to the bird thing.
So while you're looking up your Twitter, let me ask you this question. How important is it for kids to have Twitter?
And I'm not a tech guy. I hate it, because I don't want kids looking at their phones 24 hours a day. Hey, how about taking a look at the world around you? Get off of it.
Especially on this campus.
But I will say this. I will say this for Twitter, and I've been converted, because now a kid can reach out to me and say, hey, Coach, and trust me, now, if you're doing it, you don't say, hey, yo, Coach, I'm a dog. You know what? I delete that. I don't even look at that. If you're a dog, I don't have a kennel. I'm looking for human beings that have character and that can play football. And you've got a brain in your head. Yo, dog. That's what I'm looking for. So my Twitter is at Coach is capitalized, _, Wally HC capitalized. So I don't know. I don't know if capitals matter. I have no clue.
You know what? I will try to put this in our comment section, so people can actually check you out and get you on. Actually, I'm going to give this over to Lupe, because he can take care of that right now, actually, while we're talking. Get that posted up, so some of these kids, especially as they go back and watch the game, because that's one thing I know that these kids love to do. They go back and they watch the game.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that they're actually seeing this and come in and go, hey, you know what? How do I check out the school? Hastings is obviously in Nebraska. We've talked about in the prior shows. But yeah, so they can find out who you are, follow you, send highlight reels.
And like you said, kids go back to watch the film. Well, coaches watch the film. And the one thing I always tell kids is film doesn't lie.
Right.
Film doesn't lie. Don't tell me how good you are. Send me your huddle, or send me your YouTube. Send me whatever Twitter thing. Send me whatever it is, so I can take a look at it. Now, that is the advantage, I would say, over a high school kid today compared to when I was there. I had to literally send
the VCR
film. No, not VCR. Bro, mine was 16 millimeter. They were in the dishes. As soon as the game was done, there was an assistant coach that was assigned to go get that developed so we could watch it Saturday morning, and I'm not kidding. That's the way that it was back in the late 70s.
So what they do, clip the film?
Oh, they would. Oh, no, you had one film. And so you had to, so if a coach said, "Hey, Wally, can I see your film?"
Wally, I love you, man.
If a guy said, "Hey, Wally, I want to see your film," I had to say, "Well, I can send it in 2 weeks because my buddy Billy sent it, and I got to wait for it to come back." That's literally how it was. But that's also why back in the day you had a lot of guys that were there in person.
Gotcha.
But this is why also. So when a kid sends me his huddle film, all I see is the highlights. Why I like coming here like tonight, I get to see what happens when it didn't go your way. No, did you throw your helmet? Did you point fingers? What did I do? I mean, and the other thing down there too, the kids don't realize I can hear trash talk. I don't like trash talkers. I like kids just go out there and do the job. Now, the thing I do like about the Mustang kid, that kid is just, he's got high energy.
You know what's funny?
He is high energy.
Is actually Lupe had brought up how a player or whatnot, it was just almost like nature. Here you go, I'm done. And he ran up after a touchdown. He was like, here you go. And it's like
that's what
that's quality.
Instead of this, let me do a backflip. Hey, let's all come together and jump up. And I'm not recruiting cheerleaders. I think I said that at the Sabino Coolidge game. But I will say this, and I will give both coaching staffs high praise, is that the defensive tackling has been very good. The kid from the quarterback from Catalina Foothills, he was at Desert Ridge. He slings it down here, and that's why he's getting batted. But you'll notice also, Bubba Mustang has had at least 4 batted. He's an all-state shortstop. He likes to come 3 quarters. If Mustang could adjust that throwing motion, he's a serious dude. Now, Mustang's also a guy that I would say you want to come and do both in a heartbeat.
Right. So you heard it, Mustang.
Hey, seriously, yeah, kid, definitely. I gave a card to your coach. Do the Twitter thing and find me.
Find him.
But then, like I said, 2 and 9 also. But then, like number 4 for Pusch Ridge, their little running back. Oh, dude, there's a player right there too.
Wally's over here doing lottery picks.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm up tomorrow morning. I think I'm at Sunnyside and Desert View.
Right.
But then I am going to be back next week again. Is there another Thursday night game next week?
You know what? There's actually a Santan Foothills.
Right.
You don't have to necessarily come this far down. You can actually stay
I'm
up
already down here. That's
is
why
it
I'm
down
asking.
here? Hold on.
It's here?
No, it's going to be at Santan Foothills, but Pusch Ridge is in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, well, but, dude, I'm here because then I stay Thursday night and then I go back home again because, so now next Friday, next week is the Vale run.
Well,
Cienega Empire.
Gotcha.
Walden Grove, Saurita. But anyway, no, Chris, it's always a pleasure. And I tell you, you guys do a great job. And like I said, Hastings College, we are excited that we're down here. And I'll tell you about a kid off air that I saw. Oh my gosh! And what happened after? I mean, dude, it was like, okay, yeah. Thank you, Lord, for being with me when I went into that gym. Holy smokes!
Well, Wally, we always love having you. So I appreciate you coming in and stepping in like you always do. Next time, feel free to hit us up and say, hey, I know you guys are going to be here. I know we keep posting it up, so make sure that we definitely meet up again and get on here and yell some more of your wisdom to everybody.
Awesome, thanks. And remember, all you kids that go back and watch this stuff, how many other college recruiters have you seen at a game down here in Tucson? Give me the list. Start rattling them off, because you know what that's going to be? Zip. So do the Twitter thing and find me.
All right. Appreciate it. Guys, we'll be right back here shortly. Y'all have a great one.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation. 520-465-7457.
Hey, you! We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing your priority.
All right, we are back for the start of the second half as the Pusch Ridge Lions lead the Catalina Foothills Falcons 7-0. And Luke, what were your thoughts there in the first half when between both teams?
My thoughts have to be that this Pusch Ridge team is a very tough and hard-nosed team on both sides of the ball. It shows why they're ahead of this team right now, but you can't doubt and put down the Catalina Foothills Falcons either, because they're holding their ground just as strong as the Lions are right now.
And especially doing it without a key member of their offense, which is Sammy Delgado. But, you see Jet Scott over there being able to pass the ball. And so you also had number 10, Magnus Johansson, who has kind of filled in his spot. And even though early on he kind of started off a little bit rough to get anything going, later on in the second quarter, he kind of was the key focal point when it came to their offense.
Yeah, he was able to find his footing and actually march the ball up and down the field as opposed to going left and right.
So it's going to be a handoff from the Falcons, as I believe it's Johansson who's going to be on the carry and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. But it looks like we have a player down on the field, so we'll see what's going on there, and we'll take a quick pause in the action.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son, we're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing your priority.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation. 520-465-7457.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you...
And we are back with the Falcons on 2nd and 9 as we got motion from the tight end. And Scott is going to drop back. And it's going to be intercepted by Jacob Newborn and be taken in for a Pusch Ridge touchdown. What a great read by Newborn, as it's a pick six and 6 points for the Lions. So not a way you want to get things going if you are the Falcons.
And to attempt the point after.
As those are the points you don't want to give up if you are the Catalina Foothills Falcons.
And we'll see if they're able to connect with this point after attempt.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So with that pick six by number 4, Jacob Newborn, It's going to extend the Lions' lead to 14-0 with just 30 seconds off the clock as we have 11:30 here in the third.
And we got something in the distance here.
So with 11:30 here in the third, we're going to have number 33, Tyler Nolan, here to kick things off. And it's going to be kicked into the end zone for a touchback, and the Falcons will start off on the 20-yard line.
The 20-yard line.
So how do you think the Falcons come out here in the second drive of the third quarter to try to get things going and rebound off of that interception?
Yeah, and it's tough. If I'm a quarterback, if I told you I never did do that same thing, he had 6 wide open over the middle. It was a bad read. I think you got to stick to the game plan.
So Scott is going to hand off to Johansson, who's going to get a great gain on the play, and looks like he got enough for a Falcons first down.
And that's what I'm saying. I give the Foothills coaching staff credit. Even though their big Delgado kid is not in, dude, they're staying with it. Look, we're going to try to run the football, and they're doing it. Dude, that's a big first down after the pick six.
And it might be one of the longest gains for Johansson in this game. So you love seeing that. And one of the things I was telling Chris was maybe doing a little bit of a read option for Scott. I have yet to see him keep the ball on a quarterback keeper, even though he said Scott does not really run the ball. He's more of a pocket passer. As you got Johansson, who's going to get the ball again, but he's going to lose some yards on the play. And that front four for the Lions is pretty scary as they've been on Johansson all night.
You know, when you run a sweep and you lose 4, that's not a good thing.
Second down. Come on, fans, the Pusch Ridge mascot's looking for the rowdiest fan to receive the Spirit Stick and a gift card to Target.
So it'll be a 2nd and 13 for the Falcons, as we have 2 wide receivers to the left, and Johansson's going to go in motion. And Scott's going to drop back, and he's going to find number 14, Henry Nentel, who's going to break away for a big gain, and we'll see if he gets stopped as he's dragged down at the 15-yard line. So a great run after catch for Nentel. And we have a little stop in the action, so we'll see if maybe there was a flag on the play, as we have a sideline warning on Pusch Ridge. So those are the things you want to see if you are Jet Scott and you are the Falcons offense. Got to definitely be impressed, especially for the yak that Henry Nentel got after the play.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to break as many tackles as he did and get into Lions territory is very big.
So 1st and 10, you got number 37, Liam Brunel, going in motion, as Johansson's going to get the ball again and drop his shoulder and pick up about 4 on the play. So it'll be a 2nd and 6 for the Falcons at about the Lions' 10-yard line.
Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd and 8.
Oh, they had him going out of bounds at about the 11-yard line, so it'll be a 2nd and 8. And number 23, Jackson Golseth, is going to get the toss and be dragged down by number 52, John Palmer. And it's going to be a loss on the play for the Falcons. And so early on, we're starting to see that trend for the Falcons is that they'll have a great gain on the play, and then it gets negated by a run.
And that's kind of been the rhythm all throughout the game so far.
So we have a 3rd and 12 on the Lions' 15-yard line. And if you're Catalina Foothills, you definitely want to try to get in the end zone here and pick up some points, as we're going to have an empty set with 5 wide receivers, 3 to Scott's right. As Scott is going to drop back, and he's going to look for the open receiver, the intended receiver in the area is number 7, Mason Perez Brewer. But it seems like a little bit of miscommunication there on the play, as Brewer ran one way and the ball sailed the other way, and now we have a 4th and 12 for the Falcons.
Here we go, Pusch Ridge fans. It's 4th down.
So we have one running back in the backfield, as Scott's going to drop back, and he's going to complete the pass, but it's going to be short on the play, as that looks like it was completed to number 1, Andrew Islas, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. And now the ball gets turned over to Pusch Ridge. So a great stop if you are the Pusch Ridge Lions after giving up a big pass play. The defense holds strong and keeps the Falcons out of the end zone yet again.
For sure, but one thing that you got to be aware of is the field position of Pusch Ridge. One thing that we have seen out of Catalina Foothills is that their front 4 isn't afraid to engage. So we got to be aware of a possible safety here.
So it's going to be handoff to number 4, Jacob Newborn, who's going to pick up, looks about 2 to 3 on the play. And Chris, I know I didn't get your reaction, but thoughts on the first half by both teams and what you're hoping for here. I know you had to go handle some business at the start of the 3rd, but you got to miss Jet Scott throwing an interception. That was intercepted by Jacob Newborn and taken for the touchdown.
I was kind of wondering where the second touchdown came from, so thank you for giving me the heads up on that.
And Newborn's going to pick up a first down for the Lions, and that rushing attack is getting going here in the 3rd quarter.
But to answer your question on the first half, I mean, I thought it was just good, solid defensive football. Like what Coach Wally had jumped in here and said, like there was good defensive tackling on both sides of the ball. I mean, it made it a real battle in the trenches. So, I mean, I'm hoping to see more of that this quarter or this half.
And Newborn's going to get the handoff and maybe pick up 1 on the play, as it looks like the ball was blown up by number 36, Sean Brown, for the Falcons.
2nd and 9, Pusch.
But definitely some good defense early on by both teams. And, you know, for Newborn to read, you know, the play from Scott, I think that's what we're going to get here tonight is what offense can execute on the other's defense.
Right.
So far, the Falcons just unable to answer back.
So Mustang's going to hand off again. And the runner is going to pick up about 1, as that's Newborn, who is getting a good load of the carries here in the 3rd quarter.
1 yard on the carry, 3rd and 8.
And this is the first possession for the Pusch Ridge Lions offense. And they starting things out with a great rushing attack. As we are under 6 minutes here in the third. And so they are the offense is gonna draw the Falcons off sides. And so that'll bring up a 3rd and 3. And those are the things you can't afford if you're the Falcons. You want to try to get this Pusch Ridge team off the field as quickly as possible and get the ball back into your offensive hands.
You'd like to get it where they're kind of at, that kind of real estate. They got to punch a ball in and get into the touchdown or the end zone as soon as they possibly can.
So Mustang's going to drop back and keep it himself and run up the middle for a big gain and a first down for the Lions as he's tackled down at the 40-yard line.
First down.
You gotta love this student section for Pusch Ridge on this homecoming night, trying to get the parents engaged with their stuff. As Mustang is gonna find number 11, Will Joyce, for another Pusch Ridge first down.
I didn't expect a wave there. Sorry. Oh, and as you were speaking the student section, I went over that way just right during the half. I went over there during the half, and like, you couldn't walk through there. I walked the other way around just to get back over here. I was like, nah.
And so that pass is going to be negated by an illegal man downfield on Pusch Ridge. So it'll be some loss of yards on the play, but still a Pusch Ridge first down.
5-yard penalty, repeat for
Chris, one thing I wanted to ask you. Is, you said that this school was under a different name before. Do you remember what their mascot was?
Well, before we answer that, you have Mustang connecting with Noah Seacrest on the play, and that's going to be good enough for a Lions first down.
It was Palo Verde Christians was the name of the school. And honestly, I don't know. I would probably say it was still a lion. I mean, it tends to be a very religious creature. Obviously, the animal, the lion, is a strong symbol of religion, if not like it's just a strong religious symbol. So I would probably believe it was the lion, regardless. They just changed the name. Palo Verde Christian was what it was called before.
So Mustang is going to hand the ball off to Newborn, who looked like he was going to get stood up at the line of scrimmage, but he's going to carry the defense for a gain of 15 yards on the run and another Lions first down, as their offense seems to be utilizing this great run offense here in the third.
But you know what, Lupe? Let's do this. Let's throw it out to our crowd that's listening and say, if you guys know a little trivia, if you know what the mascot was, make sure you kind of hit us up in the message. Let us know.
And we got a timeout in the action, so we will be back with 4:21 to play. We have Pusch Ridge 14, Catalina Foothills 0.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey you, we've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son, we're here, you're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the...
So after the timeout, we are back with a 1st and 10 for Pusch Ridge on the 28-yard line, as Mustang is going to have a play action and throw the ball downfield, and what a catch by the Pusch Ridge receiver, and that's going to be good enough for a Lions touchdown, as now the lead extends to 20-0. And what a great connection from Mustaine to his intended receiver. It looks like that was number 9, Elliot Lovett.
His brother played here a couple years back, Levi Lovett, and he went on to up to Minot State. He's been doing really good up there.
So a lot of production coming out of here at Pusch Ridge, playing at the next level as we await the extra point from Nolan. And the kick is going to be up, and it's going to be good.
And I do apologize. It was Evan Lovett. I apologize.
So the lead will be extended to 21-0, and it's been all Pusch Ridge here in the start of the second half. And one of the things you got to see is that a lot of running from Pusch Ridge that sets up a play action rollout like that. And just for the receiver, I mean, he was well covered for him to find the ball and secure it for another Lions touchdown.
It's real hard to kind of see how good of a game it is right now with the score being 21-0. It's kind of lopsided in a sense, even though you pretty much, if you're here, you see that, and obviously if you watch the game, you've seen it's been a great defensive. It's just the little mistakes or like the turnover that kind of throws it over. Not to take anything away from either team. It's just the game is better than it is, like the score is trying to say.
And it's just been, off of one mistake from Catalina Foothills here in the second half that's kind of really give the momentum to Pusch Ridge, as we're going to get a return from the Falcons player, as he may have gotten to the 15-yard line. But yes, the pick six to start the third quarter seems to have given Pusch Ridge a lot of momentum. And but at the same time, you still have Catalina Foothills, who's able to drive downfield. They just haven't been able to execute any points, especially when they get into their red zone.
Dominic Painter with the tackle. That brings up 1st and 10 for the Falcons on the 16-yard line.
Let's see with this 1st and 10, what Jet Scott and crew have in store for the Lions.
So it looks like Scott is going to hand the ball off again to Johansson,
on the carry, brought down by
as that is going to be good enough for maybe a yard or two. It'll be a 2-yard gain.
2-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 8 Falcons.
As we are now under 3 minutes and 40 seconds here in the third. So we'll have 4 wide receivers out. And Scott's going to drop back. And he's going to find an open receiver. I think he might be just shy of the... Oh, they're going to give him the first down there. As that was connected to number 1, Andrew Eastless. And so those are the things you want if you're Catalina Foothills. Just give what the defense is going to give you and not try to do too much. I just wonder, how long their offense is going to allow them to maybe run the ball throughout the rest of this game, as they need to start striking quick if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, and just over 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. So just like you said, the Catalina Foothills Falcons need to strike fast if they want to hang around in this game.
And Johansson's going to pick up a 7-yard rush.
See, but what I think is going to happen, okay, let's watch. He got the ball down here and deep in their territory. This possession, they'll probably come all the way down. But it's just almost like it's like you get 4 of the 5 lottery numbers right.
And so we have another deflected pass on the play, and that is going to be a Pusch Ridge interception, as it looks like it's picked off by number 7, Noah Seacrest. So another unfortunate interception thrown by the Falcons quarterback, Jet Scott, and it's been a rough start to this second half for the Falcons.
They just haven't been able to get the movement going. It's like they're hitting, and it's just like, ooh, there's that one thing, boop, you know.
And you got to wonder if it's that sidearm action that is keeping the ball low, where the defenders are able to get their hands up a lot more than usual, because a lot of their routes are not going way downfield. It's more, like 5 to 10 yard curl routes or slants across the middle, as it's going to be an empty set for the Lions. And Mustang is going to find Newborn on the play, and he's going to get some good yardage, as that might be good enough for a 5-yard gain. Excuse me, a 5-yard gain.
No, but let me ask you a question. This is your first time watching some of these, coming down to Southern Arizona watching these guys. How do you like the game?
One thing is for sure, I can actually see why Pusch Ridge is the 3A threat that they have been for the past 3 years that we've been doing football coverage. And one thing is for sure is that this crowd and their student section is fully behind their team. And it may just be because it's homecoming, but there's a different type of energy on this sideline. And it can't be measured by the amount of people, because if you look across the field, Catalina Foothills has a long list of people on their side. But even though Pusch Ridge doesn't have that same amount of personnel, it's showing completely different on the scoreboard.
Well, we have a timeout, looks like, taken by Catalina Foothills with 2:04 left in the third. But we got some games coming up. Let's take a look at both of their schedules and see what they got going forward, as Catalina Foothills, after this, well, like we said, they're going to be traveling down to Tucson and then have a good, is that a region matchup against Saguaro there in the 4A Keno region?
Yes. So with that, they'll be going up and playing Saguaro. But after this week, I believe they have Tucson High. Oh, it's the following week? Yes. So, yeah. So Saguaro after that definitely will be, that's when you got to get into that.
The region play.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an empty set, as Newborn's going to come in motion, and Mustang's going to have a quarterback keeper.
Bubba Mustaine on the keeper, brought down by
and it looks like he's going to get enough for a first down.
4-yard carry. That brings up 3rd and 1.
And they're going to have him a yard short. So a big 3rd and 1 if you're Catalina Foothills and you want to get Pusch Ridge off of the field here on offense and not allow this to be a 4-score game.
Attack. You got to get that defense. Get the ball back. Let's go.
So we're going to have an empty set with 4 wide receivers to the left, as the pass is going to go to Newborn. And what a great play by the Falcons defender, as that's Alexander Catuli. And it's going to be a 4th down for the Lions. And we got to see what the decision will be here if you're Coach Middleton in the Pusch Ridge Lions.
I think Coach Middleton, in this situation, you got the 21 points on your favor. It's might as well just go for it.
So we'll have another empty set for the Lions. 2 wide receivers on each side of the field, as now we're under 1 minute here in the third. And Newborn's going to come in motion. And Mustang is going to throw the ball to number 12, Dominic Painter, and that's not going to be enough for a Lions first down. So a great stop by Catalina Foothills and their defense. Now let's see if their offense can take advantage of this turnover.
I mean, that was a great series right there. Now it's just like you're saying, we got to capitalize on it. We got to get out here with the offense and come out with these, get the passing game going, get the rhythm going somehow, and at least put something up on this. I would like to see something on this series get on the board. I don't care if it's 3, whatever it is. Let's get something on the board and break that goose egg.
And with 51 seconds here in the third, we got Scott in the shotgun formation, and another run by Johansson, who's going to pick up about 7 on the game. And they're going to stick to that rushing attack here, especially on first down.
Joyce also in on the tackle.
As we're getting into the final seconds of the third quarter. So the Falcons will come out with 3 wide receivers to the left in a pistol formation. And we'll see if they get a playoff before the end of the quarter. And Scott's going to drop back. And he's going to throw the ball downfield looking for number 6, Jack Eggington. But they are unable to connect on the pass there as we have 1 second left in the quarter.
Luke Garcia in coverage.
So a big 3rd and 3 on the play. And you got to expect, if you're Catalina Foothills and you don't pick up the first down here, you're going to probably go out there and try to convert on 4th down, wouldn't you think?
I mean, right now, you just got to keep keeping the ball. You have to keep the ball.
And so on the play, it's going to be a run by Johansson, and it looks like he may have lost 1 on the play. But after 3 quarters, it's been all Pusch Ridge as they lead 21-0 against Catalina Foothills. And we will be back for the start of the 4th quarter.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey, you. We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low pricing is your priority.
And we are back for the 4th and final quarter as Pusch Ridge extended their lead in that 3rd quarter, picking up 2 touchdowns and are leading 21-0 to start the 4th quarter. And before the end of that 3rd quarter, you had Catalina Foothills try to run the ball for a 1st down, and which leads to a 4th and 3, as now we're going to have a false start on the Falcons. Looks like number 73.
5-yard penalty.
You know, now this just actually hit me. There hasn't been that many fouls in this game, have there?
No, not at all. I think it's been a greatly ref game, and I think both teams have been playing penalty-free, and that's what you like to see, especially at some other games. We started seeing teams kind of bite themselves in the foot, and, you know, they go on these big gains, and it would get negated by penalties. So with the 4th and 8, Scott will have 3 receivers to his left, and he'll drop back and throw the ball as it looks to be picked off.
Flag on the play.
We'll see what the call is as we have Scott coming up a little bit shaken and another Pusch Ridge player on the ground. So as we get this little stop in the action, it's going to be a big penalty if you are Catalina Foothills. You're hoping that maybe it goes into your favor, because it could have been. Did you? I was kind of watching downfield. Did you guys see maybe a roughing the passer of anything like that, or?
I wasn't able to get a good shot of that. What about you, Chris?
I mean, if there was anything, it was real close to right on pretty much right there, because like you saw him throw it and then you saw the impact. So I mean, you kind of get to one of those, how did you see it kind of thing, you know? And you know, I'm just hoping right now that all parties involved are okay, you know. I mean, we still have obviously a man down, but no.
Well, from my perspective, it looks like he's cramping out and he's being stretched on the field. Let's hope that that's all that it is, as he is being tended to by his medical professionals.
So we'll take a little pause in the action, and hopefully the injury's not as serious.
Do you have a football player that's afraid of getting hit? How about a baseball player that's in a slump? Or how about just wanting to tweak your golf game just a little bit more? At Hypnosis Works LLC, we've been helping athletes overcome obstacles and tweak their focus for the last 8 years. Call us now for your free consultation, 520-465-7457.
Hey, you. We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson Appliance Company is your appliance concierge.
Tell us what you want. We will find it and send you photos, texts, emails, even FaceTime you the appliance. Buy it and we will deliver it. We're your personal appliance shopper.
Only at Tucson Appliance, where our low price is your priority.
All right, so we are back here, and like I said, it's been a great environment out here at Pusch Ridge High School. You know, you got the homecoming game, and I got my fat head going on, you know, with number 13, Luke Garcia. So definitely a lot of support for him. Just off to my right, his family's here, and, you know, I know his little brothers are here. As you see them all hanging out, there's Mom. So a great turnout here at Pusch Ridge High School. I mean, this homecoming game has been an excellent one, and you know, if you're Pusch Ridge, you got to be excited about not only your defense, but your offense as well.
I mean, the student section over here is probably bigger than some of the ones that I've seen at larger schools. So, I mean, hands down, like, just a great environment, like what you guys you've mentioned. It's packed.
It definitely is. The stands, I mean, there's not an empty seat over here on the home side, as we are.
Holding on Pusch Ridge.
It's gonna. So the call was a holding on Pusch Ridge, so it's going to be a first down for Catalina Foothills, as Scott is going to drop back, and he got the open receiver as he connects with number 1, Andrew Islas, and that's going to be good enough for a Catalina Foothills touchdown. So a big break for the Falcons, getting the penalty to go in their favor, and now they have kind of cut into that lead and finally on the board with 11:47 here in the fourth quarter.
Just got to feel good to get that off your back.
Especially after getting those picks thrown in the third quarter like that, this is a good way to redeem yourself in the final minutes of this game.
You never want to see that 0 when you're going home on the bus.
So we'll see the extra point, as that's going to be number 33, Luke Dixon on the attempt. And it looks like the kick is up, and it is good. So with 11:47 here in the fourth, Catalina Foothills is finally able to get on the board and cut down the lead 21-7. And we still have a lot of ball game left to play, and if Catalina Foothills can somehow get the ball back quickly, Jet Scott shows that he can throw the ball downfield, and that was the thing all game long, is the pass deflections, the coming up so close to connecting with his receivers. He finally was able to connect with Islas on that one.
And you got to give a big round of applause to his offensive line, giving him all the time in the world to make that throw, because to me it felt like he had maybe 5+ seconds to make the decision to find the wide open receiver.
All of our sponsors for supporting Pusch Ridge football.
So I'm interested to see how Pusch Ridge approaches this offensive possession, and see if they're going to try to chew some clock or if maybe they want to get in the end zone and extend that lead back to 21. And you're going to get a little Pusch kick from the Falcons that's going to roll out of bounds. So that will be a kickoff penalty on the Falcons, but a smart move there. Even though you have a lot of time left, you want to catch that kick return team a little bit off guard. And I see you shaking your head, Chris. What were your thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, my whole thing was like maybe more like an onside kick might have been if I would have rather seen that than a Pusch run that goes out of bounds, and now they got the flag for it. They're moving like even further, so you kind of
spotted at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10.
You could have done an onside kick, especially the distance. You could have gotten an onside kick and probably been sitting at the same place.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Pusch Ridge on their own 40, as we got two receivers to the left and Newborn in the backfield, and he's going to get the handoff, and he got a lane, and he's going to pick up a nice gain on the play, as that might be good enough for an 8-yard gain.
Well, and another thing about that kick too, you don't want to give yards to Mustaine. Like, he's already shown like he doesn't need much to make something happen. So, as we're seeing right now,
I feel like that kick possibly shows what Coach Sines or Coach's Sines' belief in his defense and in their ability to stop Mustaine.
That's a good way of looking at it.
So 2nd and 2 on the 48, as Mustaine is going to hand off to Newborn, and he's going to get a hole up the middle and almost burned by the secondary of the Falcons, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Lions. So the holes are opening up for number 4, Jacob Newborn, who definitely has to thank his line, because that thing kind of parted very quickly. And, I mean, you could have probably drove a bus through that one, how big that hole was.
Yeah, I was a little concerned that the defenders wouldn't be able to stop him, and he was looking to at least leap forward to get a good advantage over them, but the defenders able to take him down.
So Mustaine is going to look for Joyce across the middle, and it'll be an incomplete pass. And 2nd and 10 with 10:32 left.
That was kind of an ugly lead to have your wide receiver kind of going right in traffic like that.
2nd and 10,
I mean, you kind of, as a quarterback, you want to lead him into at least something safe. And if he would have caught that, it might have been actually.
And that's the tough part about playing that slot receiver position is you're going to have to go across the middle to some big linebackers, as Mustaine is going to do the option and keep it himself and pick up about 8 on the play. But, yeah, I definitely could see your point there is, but it was just a great read by the linebacking core for the Falcons to break up that pass. Because even if he caught it, it was going to be a good shot probably from a Falcon defender.
It would have been one of those ooh moments.
Been a lot of those ooh moments on the defensive side, especially when you see the tackles. That it's been a really good game, other than the score would show you.
So Mustaine is going to have a quarterback keeper up the middle, and he will have enough for a Lions first down. And that is going to chew some clock there, as now we are under 10 minutes here in the ball game. And you were talking about giving Pusch Ridge yards and the type of offense that they have, and they are moving the ball quickly down the field here in the 4th.
And with 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go, let's see what Mustaine is able to do as he has a defender on him.
And it's going to be a gang of tacklers there as he had a read option and chose to keep it.
Ray Vasquez, Tanner Montijo in on the tackle.
So that might be a loss of about 7, close to 10 there. So a big stop for the Falcons
9-yard loss on the play, 2nd
as the clock continues to tick under 9 minutes. And it's going to be 2 receivers to the left. And Mustang is going to keep the ball again and lower his shoulder and get back to the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 9, and it'll be a 3rd and 10 for the Lions.
9-yard carry. 3rd and 10, Pusch Ridge.
And one thing that they've done, even with the short field from that kick, they've eaten a lot of clock on this run.
Already over 3 minutes on this drive. But it's going to be a big 3rd down for the Catalina Foothills defense, as Mustang will stay in the shotgun formation, a high snap. And he's going to find number 4, Newborn, across the middle, and that's going to be good enough for a Lions touchdown. So with 8 minutes left in the 4th, Pusch Ridge strikes again, extending their lead 27-7. And it's just that awareness from Bubba Mustang, you know, to even catch the high snap there and find his open receiver. You got to love what he has been doing throughout this ball game.
And just a quick thank you to Coach Wally for being able to hop on during our halftime and chop it up with Chris Kidney. It's always a good thing to see the conversation with you two. Like it's like you guys have known each other forever.
You know, I got to meet Wally in 2021. It was after the All-Star game. He was actually recruiting my kid, and so I got to meet Wally back then. And just a guy he's constantly down here, and you know, just a presence of a coach or a college in our community. I mean, outside of your typical U of A or something like that, to show that there's opportunities out there, it's just a big, huge deal.
And what I love about Coach Wally is that he doesn't cut corners or try to sugarcoat anything. He is straightforward, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure that these young men understand that he's coming from a place of love.
Well, and honesty too, like you mentioned. As you just, it's being real, because the last thing you want to do as a college is you want to get a kid on your campus and they don't stay.
Yeah, that commitment issue seems to be a factor, and that word itself, commitment, has undergone quite a change in the time from, I would say, when we were going to college to now.
And Henry Nettle, number 14 for Catalina Foothills, is going to have a great return on the play, as they're going to start with some great field position about the 40-yard line.
I think you need to strike now real quick, get the points on the score. Let's go back to kicking it. Let's get our guys, boom, boom, get it back in, because this is great field, property that you got.
This is probably the best field position they've had to start a drive. And we'll see what Jet Scott and his offense can do, as they have 4 wide receivers out, and Scott is going to drop back, and he's going to find number 7, Mason Perez Brewer, on the catch. And he's going to pick up 8 on the play. But for your Catalina Foothills, you got to get back on the ball, as the clock is continuously ticking when you don't get out of bounds, and especially pick up a first down. We know it when you get a first down, there's a little pause from the clock, but then once the referee blows that whistle, it keeps going.
I mean, you're down 21 points. We got to move.
Exactly. This is those moments where your coach is yelling, nobody walking. This is where nobody needs to be walking.
So with 3 receivers to the left, Scott's going to drop back again, get some pressure, as he's going to heave it downfield, and it's going to be an incomplete pass as he tried to connect with number 14, Nentel.
Like, that would have worked. I think, the route wasn't run very strong on that. Not to say this, but that ball was put in a good, decent spot. It was there. He just had to hurry up and get underneath it. I mean, and that would have been 6 points right there.
Again, you got to credit that Pusch Ridge defense with able to hold Nentel from possibly making this a 14-28 game.
And so with 7:05 left, it's going to be a big 3rd and 2 for the Falcons, as Scott's going to drop back and look for the open receiver, as that was number 7, Perez Brewer. And now you have a 4th and 2, and you know Catalina Foothills has to go for it here. But it's just been that timing that you talk about and that chemistry between Scott and his receivers. It's definitely hasn't been the best chemistry yet, but I think as the season progresses, if Catalina Foothills decides to air the ball out more, you should definitely see them put up a lot of points through the air this year.
Well, and the one thing, and then
So on 4th down, Scott's going to heave it to the receiver, and it's going to be an incomplete pass intended for Andrew Islas, and that's going to be a turnover for the Falcons with 6:55 remaining in the ball game.
I mean, he's putting really good zip on the ball, but it's almost like on some of them, you got to get it up. You know, I mean, and maybe that's why we've had, like we've talked about, some of these deflections. That one there, it seemed like he was trying to put it into a spot that just didn't need to happen right now. You needed those 3 yards or whatever the case was. Just get the 3. Let's go.
So Pusch Ridge will take over on offense on the 49-yard line, and you have Bubba Mustaine, who's already thrown 3 touchdown passes in the ball game, who will be looking to close the door on any Catalina Foothills comeback, as Newborn is going to get the ball and get a good 5-yard gain on the play.
I think what you're doing right now, if I'm Coach Middleton, is I'm just eating clock now. I mean, even if they get the ball, I'm eating clock to the point where they can't come back over like the 21 points.
No, you're absolutely right. You definitely want to run the clock as much as you can here. And you're going to see probably Newborn or even Mustaine get a lot of – oh, well, I take that back, as Mustaine completes a pass to his receiver, and that's going to be good for a 1st down. But what a hit by number 2, Bowden Crane, on the play. And, Loop, I know you love good defensive hits there, and that was one right there. But at the end of the day, it's another 1st down for Pusch Ridge. Now, would you say here in the second half, you've been more impressed with Pusch Ridge's defense, or how quickly their offense has been able to score?
It's got to be their offense in this half. It's been a tale of 2 halves. In the first one, they were flexing their defense and showing exactly what they could do. In this second half, they're showing what kind of firepower they have on their offensive side.
So you're going to get a completion from Mustaine to Joyce, but we do have a penalty on the play, and it looks like it's going to go against Pusch Ridge.
It looked like they were going to throw like a holding on him, but I don't know. It's hard to be that wide receiver blocking, especially when you're trying to turn that defender around while your guy's running around you. It's a difficult thing to do.
Well, while we have a short, quick break in the action, who are you 2 considering for the possible get-it-in players of the game?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think it's easier to pick right now for me on the Pusch Ridge side. On the Catfoot side, actually, I'm just liking the defensive line.
So we're going to get a run by Pusch Ridge, as that is number 21, Sawyer Allen, on the play, and he's going to get a big run as he's 3 yards short from another Pusch Ridge 1st down. But for me, I mean, I definitely have to go with QB1 for Pusch Ridge. Bubba Mustaine has been lighting it up, especially here in the second half. I mean, I know Newborn had that pick 6 to kind of get them going, but it's just been his passing attack that has helped extend that lead for Pusch Ridge.
And that's why I didn't want to say it, because I was like, man, you know what, this I'm gonna give this one over. Let you call that one. But like, for me on the Catalina Foothill side, actually I'm really liking the defensive line guys. They've really done a bang-up job. I mean, it's just that they get back right on the field right away. It's hard for you to give
Well,
me.
while you think about that one, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Pusch Ridge after that long gain. So what would have been a 3rd and short has now turned into a 2nd and long for the Lions.
Let me ask you, like your opinion, who do you think on the Catfoot side? Help me out.
Well, Mustang's gonna drop back, and he's gonna look for Lovett again. And he almost connected with them, and that would have been another Lions touchdown, but just overshot him. As now that's gonna bring up a 3rd and 20.
That brings up 3rd down.
I mean, for me, I know it's been a lot of the defense for Catalina Foothills, but I've also been pretty impressed with number 10, Magnus Johansson, on the offensive end. He's been having a great run game. And, I mean, I wish I could give it to all the D linemen for Catalina Foothills, but, you know, we'll see as we got about 5 minutes left. And Pusch Ridge is going to pick up about 10 on the play, as Mustang is going to.
You know, I like your pick because, I mean, to come in here and knowing that your star typically is Sammy Delgado, you got pretty much a new quarterback at the helm to go ahead and kind of step in and take in that position. I 100% agree with you on that. Yes, I love the defensive line, like I've mentioned, but I agree. If I had to narrow it down to one person, I could agree with you on that. Absolutely.
So with a 4th and 10, the Lions offense will stay on the field, and we'll see if they run a play here. As now we're going to get a timeout from the Pusch Ridge Lions. So with 4:19 left in the ball game, it's Pusch Ridge 28, Catalina Foothills 7.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Can you toss me my bag, bro?
And we're back.
So it's going to be a big 4th down for Pusch Ridge, as it seems like they're going to let their offense stay on the field for this one. And we're going to get 4 wide receivers. And Mustang's going to drop back. And he's going to look for Lovett on the play. And he's going to sail it over his head. So it'll be an incomplete pass and a turnover on downs. As now with 4 minutes and 12 seconds, Catalina Foothills will get the ball.
Now that we have a moment, let's go ahead and actually do some quick shout outs to some of our guys that we appreciate for helping us. Game Time recruiting consultant.
And Get It In Apparel, the official apparel company that sponsors our Get It In Player of the Game.
And you got Pop Studio, the place to go to record your podcasts and videocasts. So with 4 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the ball game, Jet Scott will drop back, and he will connect with number 7, Mason Perez Brewer, and pick up a Falcons first down on the play.
Now, is this a case of too little, too late, with it just creeping up on 4 minutes and them down by 21 points?
They're definitely going to run out of time here today, but I think what you have to take with the rest of this time is to try to create something for next week and, you know, see what's going to work and here in this last drive and kind of carry that into the game at Tucson. So Scott's going to drop back, and he's going to look for Perez Brewer on the play, and a great defensive play by number 9, Elliott Lovett.
So let me ask you guys this question: is this where you bring in your lower strings, like the second string, so on and so on? Let them get those reps. Keep your guys fresh for next week or whatever the case might be. I mean,
I think if you're Pusch Ridge, you could definitely take that opportunity. If I'm Catalina Foothills, especially if I don't know how long my running back is going to be out, I want them the starters to be out there and try to create some chemistry and momentum to take into their next game. And Scott's going to drop back, and he's going to find an open receiver, and that might be just short of a Falcons first down.
Scott's pass complete to Michael Garcia.
As that's completed to number 15, Michael Garcia.
Andrew Eastless injured on the play for Catalina Foothills.
So we have a player shaken up on the play. We'll take another pause in the action with 3:27 left here in the ball game.
ScoreStream brings the excitement of high school sports directly to your phone and computer. Join our fan-driven network where you can score games, cheer with other fans, and share your favorite photos and videos from every game. Create epic highlights and help your favorite team be seen on local and national media. Become a super fan and have an incredible season with ScoreStream.
Hey, you. We've got something new in the store.
Well, not really in store. It's in your home, in your office, where you play, wherever you are.
My point, son. We're here. You're there.
Wherever that is.
Tucson.
So we are back with the 3rd and 2 for the Falcons. As Scott is going to find an open receiver, and that's going to be number 7, Mason Perez Brewer on the play.
Falcon touchdown.
And enough for a Falcons touchdown. So some positive things here to end the game for the Falcons as they look to get some kind of momentum here at the end of the game.
I think it's great that actually at this point in time you're getting those extra points in. They need it obviously to kind of like we were saying going into the next week, making sure that everything's kind of getting the chemistry built up and everything like that. So it's good to see them get another point. I mean, hopefully they can maybe do something here and continue on. Oh, and the deflected kick there.
The kick is blocked.
So the kick will be no good with 3:19 left in the 4th, and it's 28 Pusch Ridge, 13 Catalina Foothills, and you got to expect that Catalina Foothills will go for the onside kick here.
How about another round of applause for our homecoming court tonight? Ian Adams, Morgan Snyder, Paxton Carter, Arabella Young, Tyler Nolan, Abby Gilbert, Colin Tompkins, Angelique Crooks, Zane Young, Sedona Dietrich, and your homecoming king and queen, Paxton Bugowitz and Gabby Allen.
I've never been asked. Also, I was like, no, I came home from practice and my dad was like,
Nate Campa and Dominic Painter back to receive. Luke Dixon in for the Falcons to kick.
So Dixon's going to go for the onside kick, and it's going to take a Foothills bounce, but we got a penalty on the play as somebody may have left early.
Offsides.
And it's going to be offsides on Catalina Foothills. So Catalina Foothills will try this onside kick again. And the last one got a pretty good bounce if you are the Falcons, as Dixon is going to pooch it this time, and it's going to roll out of bounds and be a kicking violation. So it seemed like the first onside kick was the one that they got their bounce that they needed to try to get possession. And the second one, it just didn't get no bounce at all as it rolled right out of bounds.
Well, and I think anytime you try to do that and do it twice, it's hard to do it once, let alone try to do it twice.
So Pusch Ridge will take over at the 40-yard line. You got to expect that they'll try to run out the remainder of the clock here. As the ball is going to be handed off to Newborn, who's going to make some great cuts.
Mustang hands off to Newborn.
But might only pick up 2 on the play. As we were going to get a timeout by Catalina Foothills.
Timeout on the field, Catalina Foothills.
So as we talked about, after this, Catalina Foothills will be going down to take on Tucson, and then the remainder of their schedule is going to get into that 4A Keno region as they'll be taking on Saguaro, Canyon del Oro, and then after their bye, they're home against Walden Grove, and then play Pueblo and Micah Mountain to end their season. While Pusch Ridge, next week, they're going to be playing at Santan Foothills. That's a game we will be at next week. And then they get into their region matchup, starting off with having to go down to Sabino and then play Morenci, Coolidge, Thatcher, and finish off at Safford. So some great football on both sides when you're talking about the 3A South and the 4A Keno regions.
I was about to say, neither one of those sounds like an easy walk.
So with 3:06 left in the ball game, you're going to have Mustang go under center, and he's going to hand up the ball off to Newborn, who looks like he may pick up 2 or 3 on the play. And that's going to continue to chew up some clock here, as it doesn't look like Catalina Foothills is going to take a timeout on this one.
I do want to take a moment to thank the athletic director here over at Pusch Ridge, Amy. She took great care of us. Just the fact of that she took care of us and made sure that everything's great. Also, just all the personnel here has been amazing. Like, they've been quick to help us out, willing to do anything, and I applaud that more than, you know, sometimes it's great to just have that on our end.
So we got a break in the action, and it will be a delay of game from Pusch Ridge, so that's going to push them 5 yards back. Instead of a 3rd and 5, now we have a 3rd and 10. And we have another stop in the action as we have an offsides against Catalina Foothills. So that delay game.
It's kind of, this series is kind of throwing off the rhythm of the whole night, pretty much.
After the Catalina Foothills kind of gained 5 yards on there, they gave it right back. And it's going to be a much shorter 3rd down for Pusch Ridge. So Mustang will run a draw play to Newborn, who's going to make a couple of cuts and may have picked up the first down, as referees are signaling first down. And with that first down, that may kind of seal things here for Pusch Ridge. as the clock is going to go under 2 minutes. Like you were saying, I mean, what a great night to be here, you know, on a Thursday, our first Thursday game. And I've enjoyed every moment of it. Homecoming here for the Lions. And everybody, it was a great turnout. It was a great supporting cast here, not only the fans, the students. I know that student section, they weren't by where we were, but I could still hear them chanting on over there right next to the band.
It's everything you wish you had at a school.
And Mustang is going to take a knee as we are in the final minute and 30 seconds of the ball game. But we got a good matchup. We're still not done this week as we got another game tomorrow night right at what originally should have been at Marana High School has been switched to Mountain View High School, as we're going to see the Mountain View Mountain Lions take on the Marana Tigers.
And I hear that's supposed to be another rockin' house.
And so it's going to be that battle of the boot. With that one, I know both teams, the records don't show it. They played some great competition. You have Mountain View who's sitting at 0-3 and Marana who's sitting at 1-2. But when it comes to rivalry games, it doesn't matter what the records are. You know you're going to get a hard-fought game.
You just see the best of each team come out.
So as the final 40 seconds start to tick off, we want to thank you all for joining us here on the SoAZ VB network, and we hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know my voice has been going out all this week, so I've been trying to hold strong in calling this game, but that looks like it's gonna do it for us here at Pusch Ridge High School, as your final score is Pusch Ridge 28 and Catalina Foothills 13. But thank you all again for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night at Mountain View High School in the Battle of the Boot.
You know what else? Just real quick as well, make sure you, if you haven't, push the like and subscribe button. That way we can get you guys in tune for the next game.